Alright, so we got to get going here. So we got our refreshed cup of coffee. We just landed over at Denver International. We're going to go over to Gunnison, Crested, Butte Regional Airport. We've gone there before, right up here. It's a tough flight. This one's going to be 132 nautical miles over the mountain range. So looking at the maps, Google Maps, so we're currently sitting up here. We're going to be flying over this crest of mountains. Aspen is right there. We'll probably be crossing over that. And yeah, there's Crested Butte. And we're going to this airport over here. So we've flown here once before. It's very scenic route, and very tough. So it's going to be challenging for sure. We'll see if we fly over Mount Sherman or another mountain that we had some issues with because the updraft of the winds lift up off the slope of the mountains and kind of stall out the plane. So we're going to have to make sure that we get some decent elevation, and we'll get that thing going. So wish me luck on that one. So we're going to have to do this all from scratch here. So we got the mat, and I'll pull up. We might just start on a runway here because taxiways are so long. So we will create a new flight here. Go to airports, KDEN, set as departure. Then we're going to look up KGUC. We're going to add that as the destination. And let's see what we got going on here. So we're going to be coming in from this way. ILS has us going into runway number 6. So we'll do that. We'll show approach and procedures. We'll do ILS runway number 6. We'll insert that into our flight plan. We'll click on this, and we will run out of runway number 25. Where's 25? There's 25. Hopefully it puts us on it. Sometimes it flips it. So I don't know, we'll adjust accordingly there. This is an IFR flight. And there we have it. So we're going to have to fly over all of this mountain range stuff over here. So the elevation, as you can see down here, 13,323. That wasn't even the peak. So we're going to have to get some elevation up and going. And the airport sits at 7,662. So with that, as soon as we come up over the mountains here, we're going to have to start decreasing and try to control our speed is the key. So get everything, we got to ramp it up and then pull it back. So it's going to be a tough flight. So we will start on runway number 25. At least try to. We will go to here. We're actually going to do this. So we're going to do a little more finishing of our repairs on the plane and get this thing up to par. So we got to fix this We got 75,000. Maybe we can spend 20,000. We'll bring that up to 66. And we'll go another notch. So 22,679. We'll spend that. That brings us down to that. We'll go back to the job list. We'll accept this one. We're bringing 2 passengers, so it's a passenger flight. We'll upload the flight plan that we just created. Denver to Gunnison. And then we'll adjust the time of the day when we get there.
It looks like the weather is perfect for flying. Hi, pilot. New mission, new passengers. Let me know when you are ready to start boarding. Captain, we have opened the gates for boarding. The passengers are on their way. Transporter, boarding is complete. You can start your flight.
Alright, October 2nd, 2024. We're going to do 6:48 a.m. whatever time this is. So we got nice sunrise. We're cleared for takeoff. We're going to do just our other spot check here. So we're going to turn that on, turn that on. Our flaps are at 0. We can throw the throttle down and get this thing up in the air. So, decent length flight.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Alright, we're going to get as much speed as possible and use this runway. Probably lift off on our own. We're up to 90 knots. Alright, we'll lift up.
Have a great flight. It's a beautiful time to fly.
Whoops. I was trying to put the controller down here so that we can adjust some of this stuff. So we're heading, we'll turn autopilot, heading on, nav is off. We got to go up to like 14,000 feet. And we'll start with that. Take care of ATC.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha. Goodbye. Denver departure Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha is at 6,000 feet, climbing 7,000 feet.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha Denver departure altimeter 30.1 small radar contact continue. Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha climb and maintain 9,000 feet.
Alright, we'll adjust this to 9,000.
Climb and maintain 9,000 feet
We don't need that. We know where we're going. We're going to adjust our heading over this way. We'll get a look at the Denver airport here. With their crazy runways or taxiways.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
Now we need to go to 13,000.
Climb and maintain 13,000 feet Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
Get the bigger knob. And then the smaller knob. We're going to adjust our heading again. And head over that way. So our flight plan Alright, how's this going over there? So hopefully we'll be able to pick up the flight plan a little bit. Get a little aerial view as we fly over. Denver is off to our left. Zoom out over here and then zoom in. Oh, that's our manual thing, so we kind of need to go that way in order to pick up the GPS, but I think we're good. We'll stick to our flight plan. Actually, we're not too far off. We'll head that way. We need to gain altitude. We'll get another one last glimpse at Denver, and then we'll probably try to fly somewhere else. I'm not sure exactly where, which way to go. I was thinking maybe heading down towards Mexico. So there's the airport on the GPS. So we'll do another flyover. I think that's the runway we landed on last time. Yeah, it is. And then we took B4 and wound up in that parking lot. Alright, so where are we? Let's turn the heading thing on. Ah, there you go. Alright, nice little sunrise. We're at 8,500, climbing to 13,000. Sort of preparing to get over the mountain range so that we can have a nice smooth transition. So the mountain range that we're going to be flying over is that behind us. We just have to pick up the flight plan that ATC gave us. Our original flight plan was just to go directly out over there, but they deviated us a little bit, I'm guessing to help us gain some altitude, be a little safer flight. So once we get this all caught up, I'll go over some of the financials and the plan and where we've been and where we plan on going, I guess. So we're currently in heading holding, autopilot, and the FLC, which is the flight level control, which is set at just under 13,000, which is what ATC has assigned us. Probably zoom that in a little bit, make sure we hit our mark. So we're in the manual sequence, going to RW 26. We'll enjoy the view a little more once we get some direction here from ATC, if we do. Alright, so we are not.
Denver departure Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha would like to change destination to Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is cleared to Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie Airport is filed. Squawk 64 tree.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha cleared to Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie Airport is filed. Squawk 64 tree.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, read that correct. Radar contact 10,300 feet. Altimeter tree 0.14. Turn right heading 245. Resume on navigation. Descend and maintain 8,000 feet.
8,000.
Turn right heading 245. Proceed on course, descend and maintain 8,000 feet. Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
I'm not going to change that just
Cessna
yet.
Golf Sierra Alpha, descend and maintain 9,000 feet.
Yeah, they're going to increase it on us.
Descend and maintain 9,000 feet. Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, climb
There you
and
go.
maintain 12,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha. Denver departure Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha requesting vector to next waypoint.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, turn left, heading 240, resume on navigation.
Turn left heading 240, resume home navigation. Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
Alright, so we are there. And we're gonna be able to go out a little more. So let's bring over Google Maps. So once again, we're heading over to here. We're currently flying out of Denver, so we're gonna have to fly over that mountain ridge. As we go over this, I'll point out some of the peaks here. So we got Mount Harbor, that I'm not quite sure which one we're gonna fly over just yet, but it should be interesting. And if we zoom in, there's the look at the airport. We're gonna be flying in onto runway number 6. So we're gonna get a good look at this town, right in that little valley coming off of the mountains. It's a tough flight for sure. You're gonna have to deal with some turbulent weather over the mountains. And bringing this map back, so after here, since we'll be right in the heart of this, we started in Florida, flew up to Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama. We did one stop in Mississippi, flew over to Oklahoma, went down to Texas, Kansas, and we did one stop in Missouri. I think that's in Missouri. Yeah. So the Kansas City International Airport there. And then we flew over to Denver. So we are currently here. This was a different... There you go. I hear some buzzing going on, so we'll check this. We gotta check our altimeter. Still sitting at that. So yeah, I'm thinking of heading down to New Mexico or possibly Arizona and make our way over to Mexico. I don't know, either that or fly up north a little bit. We'll see. If you got a preference, leave it in the comment. And yeah, so we'll get this thing going. Let's see what our elevation is. So we're sitting at 12,000. That's what ATC gave. So we'll actually hit hold and level off until they tell us to go to 14,000 feet. Which I'm sure they will. So our look at Denver. We're leaving the airport. This was the Air Force Base was over here somewhere, I think right there. And that is the mountain range that we're going to be flying over. It doesn't look like much yet, but when you get up closer, it will. That wind off the mountain basically like swoops up the hill and will make for a little bit of a turbulent ride. See where the sun is. Alright, sun is fully up. Right at our back.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
Alright, we're some now we're going to 13,000.
Climb and maintain 13,000 feet Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
So we can turn the altitude hold off. Turn FLC mode on.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, descend and maintain 12,000 feet.
Oh, why are we doing?
Descend and maintain 12,000 feet Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
We can do hold again. I mean, the safe flight altitude on this flight is 15,000 feet. So that's probably where we're going to end up going to. And I can't get there too fast. So I'm kind of hoping that they tell us to get up there sooner than later, because it gets dangerous trying to increase elevation. So here's what we're looking at. Current plane here, the ground level here is 5,318, or 50. We'll go with the 5615. And then up over here, let's zoom out. Touch there. Our plane is right there. So then this level here is about 8,000 feet. Still 8,000. 9, or no, that's not 8,000. Yeah, 8,000. And then it gets up to 92, where that blue circle is.
Sierra Alpha, climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 13,000 feet Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
Now we'll finish trying to get up to 13,000. And then this peak over here is 12,000.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, descend and maintain 12,000 feet.
I'm not descending. I'm not going up and down. Alright, and then this one is 13,583. So we do have to get to like 15,000.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, did you hear my last transmission?
Yeah, I did. We're
Descend
gonna...
and maintain 12,000 feet Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
We'll acknowledge it, but we're still gonna go up to 13,000. They'll just yell at us. That's fine. They're gonna tell us to increase it to 15,000 eventually, so we need time to get up there.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, descend and maintain 11,000 feet.
11,000. I'm certainly not going down there.
Descend and maintain 11,000 feet Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, descend and maintain 12,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 12,000 feet Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
I think she's getting the point that I'm gonna keep climbing.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
There you go. Now we're getting there.
Climb and maintain 13,000 feet Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, descend
No.
and maintain 12,000 feet.
I'm I'm not even acknowledging anymore. I'm ready for a handoff. We need a new ATC.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, please acknowledge.
Well, quit being stupid.
Descend and maintain 12,000 feet Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
All right.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
So we're, I was about to say we're leveling off at
Climb
13,000.
and maintain 13,000 feet Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
And as you,
Golf Sierra Alpha, descend and maintain 12,000 feet.
man, I am ready for it to be handed off. So as you can see here, we're coming up to the mountain ridge. This is where it'll all start.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, acknowledge road transmission.
I'm not acknowledging that. I'm ready to hit over here and hopefully they'll hand us off to another tower.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, did you copy?
Descend and maintain 12,000
Anyway, as
feet
soon as I hit
Cessna Golf
that, she's
Sierra
gonna
Alpha.
say go up to 13,000. Alright, we're gonna adjust our heading here to, let's see. What is the heading here? 220 something. Can't read it. So we will go to, we'll go to 227.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, please expedite your descent to 12,000 feet.
No, thank you.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
I'm at 13,000. We're gonna let that go.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated. Squawk 1200. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved.
Ooh, hang on.
Good day.
Alright, just doing a little cleanup real quick. I had to step away. So we're going to adjust. One, we'll check ATC here. We're going to tune to approach. Request flight following.
Denver approach Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is type Cessna Skyhawk 6 miles southeast of Charlie Delta 28 13,000 feet. Request flight following.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha Denver approach. Squawk 1213.
Squawk 1213 Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
We'll acknowledge that.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha radar contact 6 miles southeast of Charlie Delta 28 12,900 feet. Altimeter tree 0.06.
Then we're going to increase this to 14,000.
Roger Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
And then I'll be right back again.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha contact Denver Center on 125.905. Good day.
Alright, I heard ATC with the handoff.
125.905 Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha. Denver Center Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha 13,800 feet.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Alpha Denver Center altimeter tree 0.02 radar contact continue.
Alright, so here is the mountain range. And this is what we're looking at. Will-o'-the-wisp. So this peak here, a little bit out of. So Shawnee Peak is this area here, and we're looking at a little over 12,000 feet. So this is that area that we're looking at flying over, which is right here. So a little over 12,000. We're sitting at 14,000. So we should be pretty good there. We can turn off our landing and taxi lights for now. Just got to remember to put them back on. So we're still full throttle here. I might switch this over to manual to try to get over the mountains, because right now we're trim. I don't like it going that high up. You'll get into a tailspin pretty soon, because we're still pitching forward just to maintain speed, and then that's when you that's when you stall. So I'm gonna watch that. I certainly don't want to stall. We just bought this plane, and we're like $300,000 into it. We haven't paid it off yet. Or we haven't earned it back yet, we'll say that. So I'm going to be super careful here. We're back down to 19, which is good. We're leveling out. I'd love to be able to level out as much as possible here, because that wind is going to push that tail up super fast, and that's when it can stall you out. But we're doing okay for the time being. Beautiful mountain range for sure.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha. Denver Center Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha, 14,100 feet.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha Denver Center altimeter 30.0 while radar contact is continue.
Alright, we're leveling down a little bit.
Denver Center Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha 18 miles southwest of Charlie Delta 28 request IFR to Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie ready to copy.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, read that correct.
Oh, that's stupid stuff again. I shouldn't have done that.
Descend and maintain 8,500 feet Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha.
Alright, let's see what we're looking at on the maps here. Alright, we are on course. And we're doing good. So as you can imagine, I'm being a little cautious here with this valley. I mean, that wind just whips down and then up and over the mountain, you get this like updraft, and that's where you can stall, which I've done before going to this airport. So a little tricky. We're gonna try to do this as safe as possible. We want to maintain our plane here. Because, yeah, let's see. So we bought this plane just at the end of September, and we paid $212,786 for it. And we also put in $52,000 in repairs. Or actually more than that, because we just spent, so it's 52,000 plus the 22,000, almost 23,000 that we spent to repair that up to 69%. So we still got a little bit of ways to go to get this plane 100%. But seems like we're doing good here. As we pass over some of these peaks, but this is not going to be the highest yet on the flight. So everything looks healthy here. We're sitting there at 91 knots. We're following along on the path. So we just passed over this peak. This stuff here is what we got to start worrying about. So that peak is 13,567. So we want to be at least 14.5, I'm thinking. So we're a little bit low. That's to get over this stuff. Go ahead and start climbing here, because in this elevation it gets harder and harder to gain altitude, at least in the Cessna 172. So, successful clearing of that mountain. We got a little flat land here before we get to our next ridge up here. Mr. Miles in a C172 as well, sitting at almost 13,000. It's basically where we're at. So beautiful Colorado. Let's see where we're coming up to. I know Aspen is around here somewhere. Let's turn off all this junk and that, and possibly the airports. And we'll get this map cleaned up a little bit. So that's the airport that we're looking at landing at. So we got to finish flying over these mountains. This Mount Harvard is where we're gonna run into our next set of trouble. So Mount Harvard, Mount Belford, North Apostle, Mount Yale. And we just went over this North Peak, and that's that valley. So we are getting there. So we're getting there. Alright, we're going to increase it a little bit more now. Just under 14.8. Give us time, because I don't want our speed to drop into the white just yet. So we're kind of sitting at 88. And it's going to be a slow climb. Alright, so with that, I'm gonna, we got a little bit of a leg here to fly over this. I will give you guys this scenery, and then I'm gonna go get a little breakfast and top off the rest of the coffee. So I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. We are looking at alright, we're getting there. That's gonna be, I cut the mountains a little too close last time. Really thought I was gonna lose the plane. The wind picked it up, threw the trim all out of whack. and put me in a tailspin that I had to pull out of. I mean, I was nose to the ground. But we saved it. Lost the bonuses, but we made it. So sitting at 52,366 because of the repair. Go ahead and enter that in. So that was minus 22,679. That was for the hull repair. It's an expense. Ah, come on. Alright, so 52,366 with the rounding. We'll go ahead and refresh our pivot table here. We'll refresh our pivot table here. And refresh it here. So now, repairing the hull, it's showing the 22,000 there. So that's a good thing. We can delete out that tab. So yeah, so we put almost $75,000 into repairs after buying the used plane for $212,786. So we're gonna move along here. We got a positive time, or a positive profit and loss in October so far because we did a lot of flying yesterday. But we still got a ways to go to make our money back for the plane. Alright, back to the view. Let's go ahead and check out what some of these towns look like. So this one off to our right. Let's see if we can zoom in there. Small town. That is Fairplay, Colorado. Alright, what is our elevation sitting at? Wow, we still haven't reached our target. That's why I really wanted to start earlier. We're about 1,000 feet over. There you go. We'll adjust our altimeter. Looking at the maps, we're getting close. currently sitting right there. That Mount Harvard is what we're looking at. And down here is the elevation part. So this is going to be the highest point of the trip. Flying over that Mount Harvard, Mount Belford, and North Apostle. All of that's situated right here. And then as we get closer to the airport, we're going to run down the other side of the mountain. Runway is sitting at 7,662. So this is going to be the tricky part. At least for the Cessna 172. I don't think this is like equipped for this type of flying. We're sitting all right. Take a look at this mountain over here. Looks like a little ski resort. So this peak right here is East Buffalo Peak. And then this peak right here is Mount Harvard. There's going to be another peak off to our right for Mount Belford. And right beyond that, we got North Apostle. This little valley here is going to be my escape if something goes haywire. Let's see approximately how much more time we got. We're getting there. There's about a half hour left. Give or take. Alright, we are hitting our altitude, which is good. So hopefully we have a smoother flight than we did the last time. I didn't record that one though. But we almost lost the plane. Because what happens, once again, that wind shoots through these valleys and whips up and over the mountains, which makes for some turbulent rides. We're gonna bump it up another 200 feet. Just figured why not be as safe as possible here, because we're basically gonna slingshot over the mountain, and then once we pass that, we're gonna start our descent. Check the wind. Currently sitting at 19 knots into a headwind. That's why we're going so slow. It's not a good setup to be flying over the mountain. You got 24 knots hitting us in the face, slowing us down. And then you got that wind, and that induces a pretty good environment for a stall. Alright, so we are getting there. I'm tempted to turn off the autopilot. Alright, we'll get a good look. I think we're sitting really good with the elevation. That I think we'll be alright. Get a super close up of these mountains here. So once again, we got Mount Harvard. Pretty much right here. And we got Mount Belford is over here. And this is Mount, oh no, this is Mount Harvard. This is Mount Belford. I don't know if I said that or not. So Mount Belford, Mount Harvard, and we're cutting right through the valley. This is going to be North Apostle. Real quick, we'll look at the map. So Mount Harvard just off to the left, Mount Belford to the right, North Apostle a little off to the right, straight forward. So beautiful scenery here. But definitely some wicked weather Mother Nature can throw at you. Baby, kind of have an idea. We're gonna switch up the weather real quick. See what that looks like during sunrise. So there's our sunrise. We'll do a 360. As slow as possible there. Like the sunlight just hitting that side of the mountain. And then that, and then we'll see what the sunset looks like. There you go, there's the sunset. We do another 360. Maybe we'll go the other way. Whoop. So really nice dynamics here. The sun just hitting the sides of the peaks with the shadow of the mountains on the other end. And that's a nice one there. Nice angle. Alright, so we're doing pretty good. We're passing most of it. I think we can reduce our elevation down to, we'll say, 11,000. So we're going to hop in the plane here. We'll do 11,100. Reduce our throttle a touch as the sun just sets into the horizon over there. So we made it over the danger point. Safe and sound. I think we can actually increase our descent a little more. Get a nice look at that lake. What is this peak? Oh yeah, we can't go that low. So we'll actually just hold our altitude here, because to get over this peak, let's adjust that if necessary. Yeah, that's sitting at about 11,000, so we'll stay well above that. Zoom into this little town. It's like 7 or 8 houses down there.
Going to 125.35 Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha. Denver Center Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is at 13,900 feet, descending 8,500 feet.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha Denver Center altimeter 30.14 radar contact continue.
Alright, this is where we're going. We'll tune in the traffic. We were landing in runway number 6.
Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha 24 miles northeast, 13,900 feet inbound to land runway 6.
Alright, we made our announcement. We should be good with ATC at this point. Should we adjust the weather again? Get a little light? Is it getting too dark? Alright, now let's look at our next peak is 9,500. Peak the nose down a little bit. Maybe we'll do a sunrise. Whoa. See what that looks like at night? That's pretty dark. Not many city lights. Alright, we'll leave it on the sunrise. Alright, so we are dropping down to 11,155 feet. That should get us to clear that as well as that. Alright, so it's these peaks here, and we're going to adjust our heading a little bit to the left once we get back in. So all of this seems to be just around the 9,000 mark. So we're going to adjust our heading. And the top of our approach, heading 228. Trying to see where we can start descending, because the airport, the runway sits at 7,662, but we're still sitting at 9,000 ground level. Drop down to 8,000. Then we go back up to 8 or 8.5. So we really can't. It's a quick descent. Alright, we're coming up to the airport on the left. See if we can get a visual. All right, so the airport. Don't have visual on the airport yet. Which is surprising. I think that might be it. Not 100% sure on that. No, I'm gonna guess the airport is out here somewhere. Yeah, it's just on the other side of this town. So the airport's gonna be right along there somewhere. I'm sure when we get closer we'll be able to see the runway. But that's what we're looking at. So, with that in mind, we should be able to drop our altitude a little more here. We're going to go to 10,000. That should safely clear all the little rolling hills. Airport is directly to our left here. almost. All right, there is the runway. So all we got to do is fly out over this mountain, make a left, and then we'll land on the runway and we'll wrap this thing up. So far, pretty smooth flight.
Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha 6 miles northwest 10,300 feet inbound to land runway 6.
Alright, we're going to start a mild turn. We're going to try descending down to 9,005. And what I'm looking to do right now, our original flight plan was to fly all the way out here and then fly in, which is like roughly, what is it, 7, 11, 14 miles out. I'm going to try to cut this out to about 5 miles. We're going to reduce our elevation. We're going to reduce the throttle a little bit. We're going to reduce our throttle a lot a bit. We're going to try to get our speed down so that we can deploy our flaps. Coming up on the lake, elevation's okay. We're going to pull up pretty soon, 200 more feet. Our speed will start dropping. We're looking at getting to 85. We're gonna rotate. We're gonna be a little bit to the right of the airport. So we're gonna over rotate there. We're gonna pull out here. We deploy 10%, 10 degrees of flap, increase the speed a little bit. Try not to get into the stall range. Alright, speed check good. There's the runway in sight. I think we're sitting pretty good. Nothing left to do but to land. We'll call final.
Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is on final runway 6 to land.
We'll get over these hills, reduce our speed a little bit, adjust our heading to the right. We may even just throw this into manual mode. Once we pass over this, we'll drop down. We're going to turn off that. Everything is off. And we got full control. I think we can pitch our nose down a little bit. Reduce the throttle. Reducing the throttle a little more. So we are sitting at barely any wind. See if we can get a smooth as butter landing. Reduce and throttle more. We're clearing the trees. Alright, we basically cut the throttle all the way out. We're going to pull up for the flare. Holding it, holding it.
Nice landing, pilot.
Alright, we missed
For your parking assignment, then shut down your engine.
that taxiway. But we'll try to make this one. Alright, so there we go. I don't know where the parking is, I forgot. So we will contact ground. Oh, now it's clear runway.
Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is clear of the runway.
Oh, parking is right there. So we can park right here. Here's one of the big boys. Alright, we'll go ahead and park next to him. Right up to the building. Can't get any closer than that. Alright, so appreciate you tuning in. We'll finish this off by shutting off the engine.
Transporter. Disembarkation in progress. Stand by.
Close up that. We'll find out how much we got for this. So that, we did that. Another soft landing at 85.
Transporter. All the passengers have disembarked. Good job. See you soon.
Let's get out of here.
Alright, and then as far as money goes, we got $12,689, paid the airport fee of $406. This was a passenger flight, and that was for airport fees. Alright, so after entering in all our details here, we're going to update the daily pivot table. So due to the repair on the airplane, we still haven't hit our goal, and we're also going to record the depreciation too, so we still got a little ways to go. The depreciation was up here, so if we do, oh no, we're looking at the wrong month there. Depreciation was already posted for the month because that's that, so we're looking good there. So another flight to get positive. We'll adjust this one. So now for October, we're sitting at a net profit of $28,005, and that'll be pretty much for the Cessna because that's all we've flown. So appreciate you tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and we will see you on episode number 4. I think that was 3. Yeah, we did one the other day, one earlier this morning, and then one now. So see you then.